Welcome to Mr. R's art class. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thumbs, subs, and ring that bell. Okay, so for this project, I'm going to show you how to turn an illustration into a vector image and to create the illusion that it is pixelated even though it's not. So we're going to start out with an illustration. We are going to work with some of the pixels, but ultimately the last format that we want to export it as is going to be an SVG, which is a vector format. So even though if that doesn't make sense right now, it's going to make sense throughout this tutorial, and we'll do every step of the way. So let's go and get started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start with the images that we want. So we could go ahead and start finding images online. So I already had found this Mario pixelated image, this illustration here of this Shiba Inu, this Mega Man, this Harry Potter image here, and then this is what that Harry Potter is going to look like in the end. So we want to download all those images into our downloaded folder. I'm going to go ahead and right click and save image as. And this is going to be a JPEG. So while they're being downloaded, you want to check the format that they're being downloaded as. This one's going to be a JPEG, which is okay. So let's go ahead and call this a Mario. And you want to call your original images original, so that you know what the original images were. And we're going to go ahead and transfer these images back and forth between Paint, regular Paint, and Microsoft Word. So this one's going to be Mario Original. This isn't going to the downloads folder. That's okay for now, but we do need to make a folder for this project. So let's go ahead and save that one. And let's go to this other image here, save image as. Make sure that this one is a JPEG as well. Downloads folder. Let's see, Mega Man here. I'm going to go to right click and save image as. This one says a PNG. Right click, save image as. This one also says a PNG. And let's go over to our downloads folder. Let's go ahead and click on this yellow folder down here at the bottom. I'm going to click on the downloads folder here. And it looks like it did not save the Mega Man. So let's go over to, I'm going to go back to the Mega Man picture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of that. So I'm going to hold down the Windows button, Shift and S at the same time. Click on the top corner here, and then drag down. That's going to be saved to my clipboard. I can just save this over into regular Paint. So at this point I'm going to go type here to search, type in Paint, and I just want to open up regular Paint here, not Paint 3D. And I'm going to paste, Control V, File, Save As, PNG is okay. I'm going to save it into that downloads folder so I can have them all together. Save, and I'm going to close this out because I might create some issues when I transfer these over to the project folder. So I'm going to close that out, go back down to my File Explorer. I have this window open, and I'm going to hold down Control and the letter N to open a new window. And let's go ahead and create a folder for this project. Click on Documents, the academic year we're currently in, the period you have my class, the semester we're currently in, and let's go ahead and create a new folder. You can click up here where it says Home, click New Folder, or you could right click and create new folder. So let's just call this Pixel. I'm going to open up that folder, click all those files, and I held down Shift to go down them to the bottom, and I'm just going to go ahead and move those over. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up these inside of regular Paint. I'm going to reduce the file size. I'm going to make them a little bit pixelated, move them over to Word, do a couple effects to them inside of Word, and then go ahead and get started inside of Vectr. So let's go ahead and start with that Harry Potter picture that I had, because this is going to help you understand how to take an illustration that is not pixelated at all, probably something that was already Vectr, and we're going to create the illusion that it is pixelated. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, scroll down to the bottom where it says open with, click on paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to where it says resize, and I'm going to click on this option here where it says pixels, and I'm going to find the higher number. So in this case it's the horizontal number that's higher than the vertical number, and I'm going to reduce that to 50, and I'm going to click OK. Now it's going to be shrank really small, so I'm going to zoom in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to where it says view, and I'm going to click where it says grid lines, and that's going to create a grid on top of that image there. So it looks really pixelated. It reduced the image quality a lot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So I'm going to hold down Windows, Shift, and S, or you could go down here to where it says type here to search, and click on snip. And I'm going to click on new. Everything is going to get grayed out. You're going to get these crosshairs here. So I'm going to start with the top left corner and then go down to the bottom right. And it saved that grid with that pixelated image there. So now what I need to do is I need to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to go to the project folder. Let's pretend that it didn't take me to this semester that we're currently in. So I'm going to click back where it says Documents, click on the academic year, click on the peer that you have in my class, the semester we're currently in, and then the project folder. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and type in Harry Potter. I'm just going to type in pixel because it's reduced file size, and I'm going to click on save, and I'm going to go ahead and close that out there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Word, so where it says type here to search, type in Word, click on the app there, and I'm going to go ahead and click where it says blank document. Let's see if I can still paste it. So I'm going to hold down Control and V, so I still was able to paste that file there. And I'm going to right click on the image, scroll down to the bottom where it says a format picture, click over here to the right, click on picture color, click on recolor. I'm going to turn it to gray, and again that was under this picture format option here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to where it says effects. If you hover over it, it says effects, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it says artistic effects. I'm going to click over here on the bottom right icon here, and I'm going to click on the one that says photocopy. So now it took this image, took all that color out of it, right? We made it grayscale, but then I reduced it a little bit more so that we could see just 3 different colors, right? We could see a black outline, we could see some of the wider highlight areas here, and then a gray in between. So that's really what we want there, is a reduced color, but you can still kind of see that grid there that it created for us. So now what we could do is we could save this Word document if we want to change some of the effects back later. So we could File, Save As, click on Browse, click on Documents, click on the academic year we're currently in, the period you have my class, the semester we're currently in, click on the project folder, and this one's going to be called Harry Potter. Save. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this file, I'm going to right click and copy, go back to Paint. So down here, type here to search unless you still have Paint open. Regular Paint, Control V. And you might still have another grid. You still might have your grid turned on, so I'm going to go back to View to get rid of the grid. And I have this image here. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this image, File, Save As, PNG. And I'm going to call this Harry Potter Grayscale. And now I can open this image inside of Vectr. So I could close this out. I could even close Microsoft Word. I could hit no. Close my downloads folder. And I'm going to go into vectr.com, so VECTR. Let me go back to what your profile will look like after you get done logging in. And I'm going to click up here where it says create a file. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom left here where it says upload image. And I'm going to click on the one that says Harry Potter Grayscale. Click on open. And so here's your image here. You could zoom in with the bottom right. And you can see how each of these is broken up into its own little grid here. So each of these little squares would be a pixel. And you're going to use this tool over here. It's going to be called the pen tool. And you're going to outline anything that is black here. So you can also go back and forth between squinting your eyes and opening your eyes wide, so you can see some of the values here. So if you squint your eyes, there is this little pixel here that is a little bit darker than these other ones. Again, you want to break this into 3 different values: white, gray, and black. So what you could do is, I have my pen tool here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. And I'm going to start breaking this off into different pieces here. So we're not going to do this pixel by pixel, right, like a real pixelated image. We're going to create the illusion that it's pixelated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start somewhere. So I could start here, scoot on over, and I'm just going to trace this outline and create the illusion that this is pixelated. So I'm starting with the broomstick here, and you could always open up your original image that you started with for reference. And this does a good job of snapping to vertical lines and horizontal lines. The thing is that if you have a pixel that doesn't connect to another pixel, like at a corner here, so this one, this black pixel isn't connected to this one here, side by side. If there's actually, it only connects at a corner, right? So if you have something like that, you might want to create another vector shape. So I'm not going to go down and go over to the side here. I don't want these to connect at a corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up. And again, you could squint your eyes, and you could always readjust these shapes here. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So again, you want to create the illusion that this is pixelated. And I'm probably going to go all the way across until I get to another corner here that doesn't connect. So it looks like that's going to be the only pixel here. If you make a mistake, you can hit the delete button and it'll go back to the last step. So I'm actually going to go ahead and hit delete one more time. It's going to go back to the last step and still keep your pen tool. This is going to take some getting used to here. So again, it does snap vertical lines and horizontal lines. I'm trying to avoid connecting these pixels here at a corner. So I want to make this broom probably a separate shape before it gets to this larger area that's all black. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that shape there. And now if you want to edit any of those points, you could double click and all those points show up, and you can always adjust those over. Otherwise, you can go up to the top here and change the color. So I'm going to go make this black. And I'm going to go back to the pen tool. And continue these pixels that I didn't get to finish. Right, so now that broom is completed. Clicking on it. Again, if you need to make any adjustments, you have to double click and all those points come back up. Otherwise, go ahead and make that black. One thing you want to do that I didn't do is you want to select your image and lock it in place so that you don't move it by accident. Right? So then you'll continue working throughout this image. Again, you're just looking for the really dark areas here. You might have to make some adjustments here. So some of the pixels did get a little bit lost on the glasses. So that's why you always want to use the reference, the original reference image. And that's also another reason why you want to call it original, so you know exactly where to go to. So you can't get every single detail because we are reducing that quality in the image, but you want to get those main details like the glasses, the eyes, the mouth there, the hair, that broomstick. All right, and then you can have a path for every single shape. You can always go back and change those. So I'm going to go back to my image that I already completed of Harry Potter. I'm going to go back. Make sure you name your files. Open. Make sure you wait for it to save as well. And I have different pages here, but you really do want to stay on one page. So here I'm going to click on the second page there. So here is my Harry Potter completed. I could probably add the mouth here and maybe make that scar a lot more prominent, or maybe move the hair around so I could bring the scar in. But the way you want to export this image is I'm going to click on export, have it saved as an SVG, and then go ahead and download. And that's going to go to your downloads folder there. So I'm going to go back to the downloads folder. Still have my project folder open. I'm going to hold down Control and N. Downloads folder over here, and there's the SVG. It's going to look like it's a website, but it's going to take you to that file online. So you want to drag this over to your project folder. And if I clicked on it, it's going to open up inside the web browser, but it is an SVG if I go all the way to the right side of this link. So if I clicked on it and I clicked the right button, it's saved as an SVG. So this is a file format that you need to send it to the laser printer it as a vector image so that we could go ahead and manipulate it a little bit later. So I want you to do this with 4 different images. You could start with something that is pixelated like Mario or like Mega Man, or you could challenge yourself and turn an illustration into a pixelated image if that gets a little bit too easy, right? So if you need any help of turning an image into a pixelated image or creating the illusion that it's pixelated using Vectr, if you're having trouble using the pen tool, if you need help downloading some of those images and bring them over back and forth between Word and Paint, go ahead and let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.